Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. So, obviously, I'm going to talk about, not obviously, but I'm going to talk about the bomb situation. There's more news this morning, and it was still actually coming in last night. But I mean, it's I don't know. I made 4 videos about it yesterday. So, anyways. So even last night, there was still there was 2 additional bombs that they were. I think there was one that was sent to L.A., I believe, for Maxine Waters. So a second bomb for Maxine Waters, and then that was number 6, a 7th bomb that they were trying to track down that reportedly had been sent to Joe Biden. How they knew that, I'm not sure. So I guess maybe somebody in the post office had seen it previously. I don't know. Maybe, I just don't know, because that was actually spotted in the Newcastle, Delaware, which I believe is very close to Philadelphia. In fact, it's being reported on Fox 29, which is the local Fox station. And there's a picture of the bomb that they located for Joe Biden that was addressed to Joe Biden, and, the typical same package, return address to Debbie Wasserman Schultz. But it's got and I'm probably going to, here it is right there. I'm thinking like I'm on my phone. I can't show you pictures. So it's got it's got a past due written on it. So, and so it stayed in the, never went out because it just didn't have enough postage. I don't know why that is, and all the others did, because it has the same postage as everyone else. They all have, in fact, all the other ones, that's like one of the markings of possible somebody who doesn't want to be detected, is they put excessive postage posted, so that doesn't happen, and so whatever, so it gets to its destination. Not necessarily, well, just so they don't have to go in and deal with somebody at the counter. So they put more than they, it's pretty common sense stuff. But this one didn't, and it had a past due on it, so it never made it out of the post office, Newcastle, Delaware. They had swept his house, as well as, I think he has a vacation. Well, no, he's got a vacation home in Rehoboth. I saw that, and he's got a home by a lake somewhere else. I think in New York. So I don't know how Newcastle, Delaware comes into that. Whatever. So, but they had thought it was just making its way to Debbie Wasserman Schultz, like the others that didn't make it to their destination. Okay, so now we're on to another, but this was located today or this morning, and then there's a second bomb that was located today, which makes it number 8. That was addressed for Robert De Niro in his restaurant in New York City. Somebody going in there early morning hours, opening the place, and everyone's on high alert by now. So they're all looking for these, and I'm sure that authorities are contacting, not necessarily with De Niro's restaurant, but probably with post offices that they feel are in their target range. But an employee's in there early morning hours, and notices a package, calls the police. They're there now. They've been there since 5 in the morning, and so there's one for Robert De Niro. Okay, so here's some of the. Obviously, none of these have detonated so far, and that's being brought up even on mainstream media. Okay, so it's not me trying to, say this or that, and there is, and funny. Someone even brought up, Ainsley Earhart even brought up the fact that there's no postmark, which many people in the comments are bringing up, on Twitter, but in the comments on my video, they're saying there's no postmark on the stamp, like it was never actually delivered, processed through a mail room and so forth. So, but Ainsley Earhart actually brought that up. There was another thing that I think there was some kind of cap missing from the CNN bomb, but the guy who I think is the former commissioner of the Boston Police Department, Bernard Kerik, was on the phone with Fox and Friends, saying he finds it very curious that that none of these have detonated, And the Boston guy, the guy from the commissioner from the Boston Police Department, he was saying that even if they were built, and I agree, even if they were built just to scare people, and they were designed in a way to not detonate, whoever did that, I think you're looking at 2 situations, and I'm going to sort of just put my own spin on it. Basically, if they were built to terrorize people just mentally and scare them, that's different than if there's actual explosive material in the bomb. You know, I think then you're basically, it's the same as sending a bomb. You know, even if you really design it with the specific intent of not blowing up, and you actually took precautions to make sure no one got hurt. And as I said in my last video, which I was starting to get a little bit worried about because I made it on the spur of the moment, but I think I make a valid point. The fact that the only bomb that's been detonated is one that was delivered by hand. All right, these went through the mail. The only one, to the best of my knowledge, that was delivered by hand, and was the one sent to George Soros. And I'll show you. And that's not just, that was in a report, okay? And I got to go right after this, so I don't have time to. That's not it. I know it was an ABC report. They probably already changed it. You know, they did, man. They updated it and changed the title, because that's said before. Man. I know it's in here, man. And I'm going to get to that as well. They've x-rayed it, and there is actual material in there, sulfur. All right, so there it is, right there. The spate of incidents comes on the heels of a pipe bomb found Monday in the mailbox of New York home of billionaire George Soros, a supporter of Democrats who's often criticized by right-wing groups. Okay? And these are various x-ray pictures of them. I'll show you them in a second. Let me just back up. I'll tell you the contents that they found in there. It's glass shards and sulfur, I think, was used to be the explosive material. I assume sulfur. I'm just going to have to take it, people's word for it, that's explosive. So I'm at the ABC article about the Soros bomb. The bomb sent to Soros's home in Katona, New York, which is not, it's near Bedford, or a part of Bedford, north of New York, sort of near Hillary Clinton's home in Westchester County, both in Westchester County. But this is the article, and this is from Tuesday. Okay, the incident happened on Monday, the first incident. George Soros saying would-be attacker hand-delivered the pipe bomb to George Soros. And this is the only one that has actually detonated. They detonated it themselves. But even Fox and Friends were saying that so far, none of these other ones have been gone off in the custody of the police, in their, in their bomb processing facilities or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's too early and I wouldn't know anyways. So, but this one, they did get to detonate. As I was saying, they took a photograph of it for evidence reasons before they exploded it and so forth. But it says the FBI photographed the device, then detonated it near Soros' home in Katona, New York. And let me back up real quick. It said a bomb loaded with an explosive black powder was hand-delivered to suburban New York City home of billionaire financier George Soros by would-be attacker, prompting the FBI to launch investigation into who. I hate this sentence, man. I already started this over. I'm not going to start it over again. You get the point, okay? So, but the reason I read that is because of the black powder. I know there were a couple of the packages had a white powder inside. I don't know. They were, I don't know if that was in a separate envelope inside the large envelope, or if there was just evidence of a white powder. But that draws my, if there's white powder in all these other envelopes, okay, because sulfur, I don't know what color sulfur is. I have no idea. I should look that up right now. And but if there's white powder in all these other envelopes, but there's black powder in this one, the very first one, the one that was hand delivered, and the one that they were able to detonate and explode, that says something to me. And again, I don't know if I said it before. I'm not trying to. This seems, no matter what, somebody's in huge trouble, huge. And they're saying somebody's going to be in coffin 24 to 48 hours. Bernard Carrick was saying that. I'm not so sure, man, if somebody's not really thought this out. I don't know. There's because Bernard Carrick was saying there's so much evidence, man, so much evidence. It's surveillance footage, DNA, everything, man. Before I get to this, I'll tell you what, man. Yellow. Sulfur. What's sulfur dioxide? White. Dude. I'll tell you what, man. I'm getting pretty good, okay? I mean, that's a big deal. You know, if every other bomb that was sent through the mail, but even sulfur dioxide is explosive. So I don't know why this one had a black powder and all the rest, or we don't know. It was reported some of the others had white powder. Whatever, let me continue. So the FBI photographed the device and then detonated it near Soros' homes in Katona, New York. And we're analyzing fragments to determine why the bomb did not go off, source said. The device was not delivered via U.S. Postal Service, a source familiar with the investigation confirmed to ABC. Law enforcement is now investigating if the device actually came through a private package delivery service and whether it was hand-delivered or came through some delivery system, the source said. Soros became a favorite target of right-wing groups due to his support of progressive causes and Democratic candidates, but authorities have not confirmed or commented on whether any specific group is being investigated. The source emphasized that the device was no hoax. The device was no hoax. The source emphasized that the device was no hoax. This device, the one that was hand-delivered, not sent through the Postal Service, okay? And what if, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, what if he, you know, if this one thing and George Soros is like, well, I just don't want to press charges. All right, the pipe bomb was, but all the other ones, I mean, either way, like I said, the Boston commissioner was saying that, you know, even if it's, you know, these weren't real bombs, somebody's in huge trouble, you would think. Unless they thought of some extremely clever legal way to basically say, you know, to kid around the law. You know what I mean? I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to make it that way. I'm just saying. I'm just looking at it. The pipe bomb was about 6 inches long and was an 8 by 10 inch envelope made to look like it was delivered through the mail. The source said. A postal inspector who examined the markings on the envelope determined it had been hand-delivered, the source said. Okay, so the postal inspector, there you go. They didn't detonate. They kept the envelope. That's how smart I am. I'm thinking they like blew up the envelope initially. I just wasn't thinking. So they have the envelope. A postal inspector was able to look at it and determined it had been hand-delivered by examining the markings on the envelope, I guess because it had no the stamps weren't, no markings on it. I don't know. I mean, but the other ones had no markings on it. And if they're not, that's the thing, that CNN one, like, how would it get into the mailroom if it wasn't delivered through a postal service of some kind or some kind of package delivery service? That's what's got it. Soros' regular mail carrier was also interviewed, but he did not recall delivering the package, the source said. The bomb was found at 3:45 p.m. Monday. And that's it. That's the Soros situation. I'm just making the distinction between the one bomb that's actually been detonated, self-detonated, you know, was hand-delivered apparently, and at least some of these are through the post office because they're locating them in the post office. The one found this morning in Newcastle was at the Newcastle, Delaware post office for Biden. Right? It seems as though the rest were through. There was also mention on Fox and Friends. I'm just throwing everything at you. You're gonna have to just forgive me because I have to go. Something about the CNN bomb didn't have the cap, some kind of cap on it, and I didn't catch that. You know. Last thing is so there's an X-ray of it, and there's another one, and it says. The crude device was contrived of PVC tubing, which is like plastic plumbing, you know, 1.5 inch, 2 inch pipe, whatever. I don't know what it is. Attached to a digital clock available for purchase on Amazon. They included sulfur as explosive and shards of glass as shrapnel. And the glass is, according to what I heard, you know, because it's lighter than steel and metal, so that it wouldn't be detected as easily by mail carriers in the post office. Officials suspect a serial bomber, likely with the intent to kill, is behind the rash of homemade explosives sent in the mail this week. Well, I don't know. So, that's the story there, man. I got to roll. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm sure we're going to know pretty soon, man. And I'm dying to know who is behind this. It could be more than one person. I mean, these are a lot of different destinations, you know, that are spread out, that most of them arriving on the same day, some that went, you know, return to sender. I don't know. Could be more than one person. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I will see you in the next video. They're still saying 9 suspicious packages. I don't know what the 9th is. Later, man.